Okay, so I'm going to try and explain a little bit better the movement. So what I've done here is grab a pistol, airsoft pistol, so there's less in the way. What I want to show you here is how the hips are moving. So that you, as much as possible, you try and turn the hips with the shoulders, and you're using your legs for the movement. And here I emphasize that when you move, your hips should be facing as much as possible where you're shooting. At the end of the range of motion, far right and far left, it is going to be hard to get the hips all the way around, but they need to be as much as they can. That keeps the body in line behind it. And you're always going to be focusing on the shoulders, the gun, and the head placement all remaining the same. So we switch over now to shotgun and show you different positions here. So I've got my left foot slightly forward, okay, maybe a little bit wider than shoulder stance, but that's going to vary on the individual size of your leg, size of your frame. And you see it's the legs turning the hips around. Now you see here I actually get my feet are very in line with each other, which is a bit wrong, and you'll see in a minute it doesn't feel comfortable, and I adjust the stance. See, yeah, I put that left one forward. Now if that left one's further forward, let me just pause it a second. If the left one's further forward and you start to topple forwards, you can push off the left foot. And likewise if you're back. So you've got that forward and backwards adjustment that you can do. Also, let's see if I can get this into the right position. Okay, so what you see here, and what I think is happening with you is, as well as the stance being too wide, your bum's not far enough back. Now, pistol shooters can get away with a very upright stance because they don't have to balance the weight of the gun. So if we see here, if you look at where my feet are, I see I get a line on here. So we have a line down there roughly from the toes of my left foot. So you can see how much, if I'm balancing the weight on my toes, how much of the weight of me is behind that. Now I weigh 15 stone 5, which is 215 pounds. There's a lot of weight there. And I'm very tall, and I've got long limbs. So the weight of the gun is balanced by my arse sticking backwards and being the other side of this balance point. And I think you'll find that very useful. So if you have the bend in the knees, a slightly narrower stance so you can get the side-to-side motion, but stick your arse backwards. And that counterbalances that. I'll show you that a bit more in detail in a minute. Let's hit play again. So try and show it from all the different angles here so you get a rough idea. Again, it's not the same every time. That's quite wide that I'm standing there. I can get away with a lot. I've got a lot of experience and a lot of shooting. And also my technique at the minute is a bit rough because I haven't shot very much for probably over a year. So here, set yourself up and you can see it again. So it's your legs that are doing the majority of the work, the big muscles of the legs, and it actually makes it quicker, cleaner and crisper to use them rather than trying to muscle anything else up. So here I show you how I'd set up. Okay. So if you did have a wide stance, okay, that's a parallel stance, bring it in, stick your arse out, weight on the toes. Okay, I'm testing there. That bouncing up and down on the toes is to test that the weight is there, to test that center of gravity. Then I'm going to move on to an exercise I did a lot as a beginning shooter, especially with pistol. So interlock your fingers, thumbs on top, and lock your arms out. Now, locking your arms out locks your shoulders out, and then you just concentrate on this movement of the hips. Now, I'm not a pistol shooter. Now, pistol shooters move their head differently. So shotgun shooter, because he's got the gun there, will move his head with the gun. A pistol shooter will move his head first and move it into it. So if you're just doing shotgun, you might just want to move your head with it. Eyes go first. But what you can see here is it locks the upper body in and allows you to concentrate on those hips. Okay, again from the side. Bend your knees, stick your arse out, lock your arms in and move. What it does show when you move your head first with the pistol type technique is when the upper body and the arms come in, the head should remain in the same place. minimum disruption. You're always trying to have the minimum amount of movement, minimum amount of disruption. So again, from a different angle. It's not a natural stance. You know, a bent leg sticking your arse out, weight on your toes. It's not something you learn when you're learning to walk or run or jump or play. It's specific to shooting shotguns. And it differs from a pistol stance, in my opinion anyway, because you need to have the arse stuck out further because of the weight of the gun, and that slight more of a lean forward with the upper body to counter the recoil. There's far more recoil in a shotgun than a pistol. So while you're learning this, have a play. Try different widths apart. Left foot a little bit forward, a lot forward, all different ways. Okay, feel the balance. This is what this jumping up and down is. Feel the balance. Stick your arse out. Lock those arms in and see how it works for you. It's all about what works for you, because I'm a lot taller than you are. I'm a lot heavier than you. But actually, in relation, our guns are probably about the same weight and size. So you're possibly at a disadvantage just because Mother Nature made you a different shape to me. Okay, so at the end of this video, I just show you the upper body moving. Just getting close to the camera, just so you get as many angles as you can to try and get a good idea of what we're trying to achieve. And play it a few times, watch the head. Okay, once you're set up, that head shouldn't be moving up or down. Obviously, it's got to turn left and right to find targets. And this drill as well, you don't need a gun in your hands for this. You can do this every time you go and make a cup of tea in the kitchen. You know, just stand there, get your position, feel your weight, stick your arse out, swing your arms. It sounds like a party dance, doesn't it? And there we have it. I hope that makes some sense.